Where have all the good men gone, and where are all the gods? Where's the streetwise Hercules to fight the rising odds? Isn't there a white knight upon the fiery steed? Late at night I toss and I turn and I dream of what I need. I need a hero. I'm holding out for a hero till the end of the night. He's gotta be
That's quite big. Impressive.
strong and he's gotta be fast and he's gotta be fresh from the fight. I need a hero. I'm holding out for a hero till the morning light. He's gotta be strong and he's gotta be soon and he's gotta be larger than life, larger than life. I need a hero.
What is going on, everybody? I hope you guys enjoyed that intro. That is a little sneak peek of what's to come in this game. I was unfortunately not recording at the time, so it is in the replay tool, but I will probably be recording actually live games in the future. But let me know what you guys think of this like post-commentary style of video. I'm kind of gonna just be running over my strategies and kind of how I like to build the character, going over my build that I covered in my previous video. If you haven't watched that yet, go check it out. I will leave a link to that. But otherwise, a couple people did mention on my last video about some things that I forgot to cover that my build does a little bit differently from other builds. One of which is taking Leech over Infuser and taking like Bullet Resilience over things like Metal Skin. And the reason that I do that is because those items rely on cooldowns and they are incredibly strong in the right situation. If you are in a room with multiple people and they can't run away from you, and you pop Infuser, you're just like unkillable for that time. But once that cooldown runs out, and if you haven't secured any kills on them yet, then you just die. And at that point, Leech provides much more value in the long term. And that's kind of what I build my build around, is those prolonged team fights where the enemy comes to me and I can like fight them in, say, the mid-boss pit or in my patron pit is the ideal situation for me. So that is kind of why I usually don't run those items. I do sometimes, especially if I'm going full spirit, but other than that, I usually avoid it. Another item I think I briefly touched on was Warpstone, which is really good for initiating and positioning yourself around the map. But again, I wouldn't take that over Bullet Resilience. I might take that in addition to, unless there's just like no gun carries on the team. Then it doesn't really matter. But if you need that extra positioning to really get yourself into the team fight, I'll sometimes take that. But I don't really think it's a core item to the build necessarily. But again, I kind of build this build around fighting in the pit. So in that situation where the enemy is coming to you, you don't really need that positioning tool, if that makes sense. But anyway, getting into this gameplay, I usually start out buying Spirit first, because if you didn't know, Victor's regeneration rate scales with Spirit. So the more Spirit you have, the faster his health regenerates. And the way I kind of like to play him in lane is building around his regeneration. So if you build around his regeneration, he can out-sustain any character in the game. Even something like a Moe and Krill, he can out-sustain, because he doesn't actually need to get up in someone's face to heal. So what that means is he is always better taking fights that are short, and even if you do the same amount of damage to the enemy that they do to you, you can heal that energy or that health back faster than they can. So you kind of want to dip in, throw your pain battery, dip out, heal up with jump start, and that's kind of the gameplay. Loot until they get to really low health, and then you can go in and secure the kill. You don't really, you'll see in this gameplay that I'm not really using my aura that much unless they get right on top of me, or I think that I can damage them significantly with it. But usually you want to prioritize your life. Like, you don't want to risk dying to kill them, because even if you both leave with 10 HP and you don't secure the kill, you can heal back up to full much faster than they can. They'll probably have to run back to their base, whereas you can just stay in lane, keep farming, and you get the soul advantage on them. So that's kind of how I like to play him, and my build choices kind of reflect that. But other than that, getting into this actual gameplay, I'm with a Moe and Krill, and luckily he has a mic, so I'm able to kind of communicate with him in lane, and so we know when we're about to go in. We can coordinate and like coordinate with our ults once we get those up. And even if your teammate doesn't have a mic, just calming to them anyway will help your laning stage tremendously. So I would always recommend to do that.
I hope we find someone walking alone.
So at this point, we both have our ults up, and we were thinking we were gonna grab her, and then we could just like unload all of our damage on her. That's why I kept my aura up. But unfortunately, she got her ult at the same time, so she was able to pop that so that Moe couldn't grab her. And it kind of foiled our plans there. And they did manage to pop my ult, which is unfortunate because I didn't really get any value out of it. It can be a good idea when you have your ult up to like tower dive and really pressure them hard, because if you can use that damage and stun, or even just taking up that space, it can definitely be beneficial, especially if you're just like, the alternative is to just hide under your tower and not use that ult, and then it's just sitting off of cooldown, not giving you any value. Whereas if you pop it, then it's on cooldown. That cooldown is generating you value. That's not to say you should just automatically use it whenever it's up, because it is very strong to essentially have like a rejuvenator in your back pocket, you know. I wouldn't say I use my ult offensively a lot, but it can be nice at times. I do really like laning with Moe and Krill most of the time, because they are a character that does not need a lot of souls, and so once lane is complete, they can just leave and go roam, and I can just stay in lane and kind of solo farm the side lane, because Victor is very good at playing defensive underneath guardians or walkers, and since he has so much regen in his kit, it's kind of hard to push into him. And Moe is a really good roamer, so he can just go roam, get kills with his ult, and get big that way.
I'm not afraid to suffer. The pain will be worth it.
Ready to show them who they're dealing with.
There's that extended range on the Pain Battery coming in clutch. I do really notice that playing a lot. It is a very nice change on Victor. Especially for someone who doesn't typically buy expansion. You definitely notice the extra reach on that a lot.
Pull them off the battlefield.
So right now, me and Mo are both like, okay, we both have our ults up. We can get a little bit aggressive here, start pushing the wave into the Guardian, and get some Guardian damage down. And if they push too far forward, we know that Mo can grab him with his ult. But I noticed that the buff is coming up, so I tell Mo I'm gonna go grab that fast, and then I'll be back. But they use that moment to push Mo, which honestly, in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have left there and just kept pushing with him, but he manages to grab Yamato, and we're able to clean up the kill there.
Lists on cooldown.
I don't know how I let that Ivy escape there. I think at the time I was like, okay, Yamato isn't dead yet. I thought Mo had killed her, but then I saw that she wasn't dead, and I'm like, I don't want her to go kill my Mo, because I know that Yamato is serious business in a 1v1. So I'm like, well, I can either chase that Ivy down and secure that kill, or I can go back and possibly prevent Mo from dying and kill Yamato. So that's what I chose to do.
Almost ready.
Watching the gameplay back, I probably should have just killed Ivy. And honestly, I could have if I didn't just whiff all of my shots on her the first time, but it is what it is, you know, you live and learn. But here we managed to clean it up, I think. Or actually, I think we just forced them to back off, because I do get my ult, but that's fine. I don't really care that much right now, because we won the lane. So at this point, I'm like, okay, Mo, I'm just going to hold down the lane. You go help our other lanes. These guys aren't really giving us much trouble. I think I can hold it 1v2 for a while. So that's what he does. And I just start farming the jungle, waiting for their lane to push into me. Don't watch my gameplay for optimized farming routes or anything like that. I'm definitely not not the most efficient farmer in the game, that's for sure, which is probably not a good thing for a Victor player, but you know, every day we get better, right? Here I come up and try to get their camp up here, but Ivy managed to get it before me, so I decided to just take some of their boxes, get this camp down here. Since we have that pressure from taking their Guardian, I want to make sure that I'm taking as much of their jungle farm as possible. Like, our jungle farm in our lane is, or on our side of the map rather, is still up. But I want to take theirs first, because if I'm taking their jungle farm, not only am I getting the souls, but I'm denying them the souls. And then here, I get ambushed by a Bebop. Try hiding from his ult right there, but Ivy pushes me away. I'm really not sure how I didn't die here. I probably should have, but I managed to hide back here and decide to thin the wave a little bit, because if they don't have any minions on our tower has a lot of resistance against them, so they probably can't take it. That's another reason why I get monster rounds early, because it helps me solo push the wave easier on my own. And they decided to peace out there, which probably smart by them since we have 3 people here. But yeah.
Headed to Greenwich.
That sucks every time. You're not gonna regret it.
So now compress cooldown, I put on jump start. I think I went over this in my last video, but the more jump starts you have, the more pain batteries you get, because you are doing self-damage with the jump start. So it's kind of a 2-for-1, whereas if you put it just on pain battery, you're only getting that as a cooldown. That was like a terrible way of explaining that, but hopefully it made sense.
Our blue walker is under attack.
So here Yamato tries to parry me. I change my heavy melee direction so that I don't get stunned, and then I manage to destroy that vending machine. Didn't get the max hit on it, but it's okay. We're still denying them souls, so we'll take it. So right now, this is kind of where Victor excels, is just pushing waves in the side lane and letting them push back to him and just kind of getting big.
I see B. Let's take out B-Box.
I am not the most efficient farmer, so you will slowly see over the course of the game that I become the poorest player in the game, even though I do have the side lane. But ideally, you'll be keeping a soul lead. So here I'm like, okay, there's 2 of them on me. I don't know if more are coming. It seems like they're pushing pretty aggressively. Lash pops his ult on me, and I think they do pop my ult. And then they kind of just back off and let me go back to my tower. I really don't know why. I think they forgot to bring their wave with them, but they probably could have killed me there. I think a pattern I noticed in this game is the enemy kind of pushing into me and then just leaving. I think they were scared of me. Not really sure why, because I wasn't super... I mean, I was a little bit strong at this point, but like Victor, until he gets to at least like 20k, really isn't that big of a deal. Nice cleanup kill on the Lash there. Thanks to the Mo roaming, which was very much appreciated. And you'll notice I bought Spirit Resilience as my first 3.2k. And that's just because they have like pretty much a full spirit team, and I was noticing myself dying, or not dying, but taking a lot of spirit damage. So I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna buy this early, and then I'll be tankier for fights. Now here is we're coming up to kind of our first big mistake of the game. Not necessarily me running the urn. I probably should have let Mo do it, because I'm better just staying on the side lane and split pushing at this point in the game. Especially because I don't have my ult up. And Mo is faster and better in a team fight than I am at this stage in the game, especially without my ult. We do manage to get the urn, but at this point we should have just backed out because they were all here. And I kind of go in because I'm like, okay, I want to get my teammates out of the fight. And then, yeah, at this point it's just too late for me. And I just fold. Yeah, but we should have just left the fight as soon as I got the urn. That was a bit of a misplay on our part. And nobody was over in the lane that I was solo farming to defend the Paradox, and she just gets our walker for free, which is really not a good trade. I think I mentioned that I asked somebody to cover that lane for me when I grabbed the urn, and then nobody responded, and I just kind of assumed somebody did and didn't really check the map again until it was too late. But it is what it is. An important thing in games like this, especially if your team made a big blunder like that, whether you're the one to make it or your teammate, is to just stay positive and not flame your teammates, because nothing kills games faster than flaming your teammates and telling them how bad they are.
Our yellow walker is under attack.
Come on!
So there I'm just kind of staying up above the jungle so I can kind of see what's happening, if there's any enemies in the area. I didn't see any, so me and Mo decided to take that camp together. And now we see Lash here. We try to catch him. I don't know how he managed to do that majestic leap, because he did get caught in my aura.
Our blue walker
but I
is
think it was
under
just like
attack.
a second too late, and he was able to pull that off and escape from us.
Thank you. Headed to blue.
So at this point, I'm kind of calming to my team, like, we don't really know how many of them are here. We don't really need to push up here, so I kind of push up to make space. I'm like, if they're, like, there's nothing really to fight over here, so if they want to fight, we should back up to our walker. But my team decides to go in anyway, and so I kind of just stick around, try and make space for them. Mo managed to grab somebody, so we are able to turn around a little bit. And here you can see that Spirit Resilience coming in clutch. I don't think I would have survived there, or at least my ult would have popped probably, had I not bought that. And so now we have a pretty significant advantage, so we decide to push the walker.
Headed to yellow.
And there's not really much they can do about it. Flash ult coming up, but not really concerned about it. Have my ult up. And Yamato, this game was just doing like crazy damage. I don't think I've ever had to deal with a Yamato that just like nukes me as fast as this one did. And so we were all getting a little bit low, so we decided to back out there. We also didn't really have anybody who did
Our
significant
yellow
walker damage,
is under attack.
since Hayes was dead, Wraith was dead, Drifter was low, so we decided to back off of
Our blue walker is under
back off the mid
attack.
walker there. Ivy manages to just get out before we can damage her. If only I had better aim, but you know, I play Victor because I have trash aim, so there's that. Victor players don't need to aim, right?
Ivy.
Our yellow walker has been defeated.
Headed to yellow.
We lose our yellow walker there. Probably could have had more people rotate over, but we also needed to get our other lanes pushed out because their waves were getting pushed up. And if you have like 5 or 6 people in a lane, you're really missing out on a lot of souls, so you kind of want to avoid that if you can, because the more people in the lane, the less value each player gets per soul.
Let's go mid.
I think the ideal amount of players to have in a lane is 2, and then you split the souls. I think you each get 60%, something like that.
Let's see him try to kill a dead man.
Let's push their in mid. Headed to Broadway.
I see, Yamato.
So we managed to get the mid walker there. I decided to run the urn because we did have the man advantage. But Ivy kind of ambushes me with her ult, and Lash is there with her. They managed to drop the urn from me, so I'm calming to my team right now. Hey, can I get some assistance back here? These two are ambushing me, and luckily Doorman comes to my rescue, and we're able to turn the fight around a little bit here. You can just see the crazy healing. I do have Leech now, so you can see that the Leech healing is helping me a lot there. And unfortunately, while we got the Ivy kill, Lash was able to snag the urn and just run off with it, but Doorman manages to track him down and lock him in the hotel. So he runs off to go deposit the urn, and I wait for Lash to come out. But Lash has better mobility than me. This would be an instance where Warpstone would come in handy, but I don't think I'd be able to catch him anyway. And he's able to get out. But we got the urn, so I'm like, okay, that's fine. I start to go over to try and help Mo, but he dies before I get there, so I'm like, okay, I need to get out of here. And you can see my chud movement there, but we do get out before they can grab me. And here we're just kind of taking some of their farm, denying them souls.
Headed to blue.
And there's not really much going on the map, so I decided to take our doubles. You kind of want to make sure that at least somebody on your team is taking these as quickly as they spawn, which usually doesn't happen because people aren't really paying attention. I mean, depending on what rank you are, right? The higher ranks you go, the less jungle is going to be constantly available for you.
Headed to York.
But yeah, just making sure that somebody snags those once they're up is pretty big for
I see
getting
seven.
a soul lead.
Headed to blue. Headed to yellow.
This Paradox, a little bit out of position, so we tried to chase her a little bit. And she doesn't really have any teammates around her, so it's a pretty easy kill on her.
No one's stopping me from getting to the truth.
But she did distract us, and they were able to grab our mid walker. I think as we were chasing her, I did notice that some of the minions were pushing into our walker, but I didn't realize that there were two of them there, and that was probably a mistake on my part. I think that Mo and Drifter probably could have cleaned up the Paradox without me, so I probably should have stayed in the mid lane to defend against that.
Let's go mid.
Here, Yamato just goes flying off the vent dying. I thought that was pretty funny.
And now they suffer.
Luggage carts almost
Get
ready.
jumped out here.
Now it's 6v2, we decide to go mid. I got over 6.4k souls, so I am going to buy there because buying Frenzy makes me significantly stronger. Plus it makes me do a lot more damage with my gun to the mid boss. So rather than just rushing straight to mid, I do buy my item there. So at this point in the game, we are 20k souls ahead. We have 2 rejuves. They did manage to pick Haze off in the side lane and pop her rejuve, which was very smart on their part. I don't know if they planned to do that, but waiting for us to finish the mid boss before they killed her so that they could waste one of our rejuves by killing her twice is a very smart thing to do. Assuming that you know that you can kill her twice and she can't get away, right?
The spirit earns waiting to be claimed.
So right now we're kind of waiting for Doorman and Haze to come back up because we want to push with our whole team. And so that's kind of where we're just AFK farming. Yamato, kind of just scaring her off there, not really trying to pursue super hard. And then this is kind of our second big blunder of the game, where they're running Urn. We have 3 of us around, but we don't know how many of them are there. Like they could be stacking 6 people in there. So we're kind of like, do we want to go in? Do we not want to go in? And we were kind of hesitating for a little bit too long there, and they did manage to get the Urn, at which point we should have just left. But we're like, we got 2 rejuves, we can fight them, right? And we're kind of like testing the waters here a little bit, going in, going out, but not really committing to anything until the Lash ult. But then Doorman gets a clutch ult on Lash before he can get his ult off, which was kind of crazy. So at this point, we're all pretty much together, having a pretty good team fight here. I'm fine with the ult popping there. I managed to stun Lash with it. And then they're popping all of their ults, so we're like, okay, let's hide from that for a little bit. And at this point, we make a bit of a blunder because Yamato is behind us. Mo is saying we need to get out, but a couple people are still up there and they aren't able to get out, and so they get picked off, fighting most of them while we're back here fighting Yamato. And she's able to distract us for long enough for the rest of her team to kind of catch up, and it kind of just spirals out of control from there. At this point, I'm kind of just tunnel visioned on Yamato because she keeps getting health, so I'm like, she needs to die. But then the rest of their team is on top of my head, and they kill us. And yeah, not a great team fight on our part, for sure.
Possible.
So now you can see that they're catching up to us. Only about 7k soul lead now. But we're not really super concerned about it. But you can see here in our text chat. I think some of us were in voice chat, but the rest of our team was just texting. And Wraith getting a little upset that we weren't fighting together, which is valid, but like kind of how I was mentioning earlier, you don't want to flame your teammates. Like, you're not gonna teach them to play better in the whatever 40 to 50 minute game that you're in together. Like, yeah, explaining we need to group better is fine, but then just like going on about it, like, not a very good play. Like, yeah, we probably have figured that out. We don't need somebody to tell us that, you know. Just trying to keep the spirits on the team positive is very important.
The spirit urn is waiting to be claimed.
So you can see, like, 2 minutes later, they're still talking about it in text chat. Like, yeah, you made a mistake. Just move on. Try and play better next time, you know.
Control the pain.
So at this point, I'm like, the urn is up. Let's try and push this wave, and then we can grab the urn and run it over to the other side. Doorman picks it up, so I'm like, okay, I'll teleport and meet you over there. I don't think we really need to worry about them pushing this lane too much since they already took our walker on it.
Pull back.
I don't know why teleporting this direction always just confuses me so much, and I end up like not saving any time. I think Doorman actually beats me to the drop off.
The urn is ours.
Good job.
I think I just need to learn the route a little bit better.
There's the golem.
Headed to York. Headed to
So at
Broadway.
this point, there isn't really
Headed to
much to
yellow.
fight over on the map other than just farming jungle.
I see Ivy.
Mid boss is about to come up fairly soon, so we're just playing a little bit safe, and this is a huge pick that we get on Ivy here. Our Doorman this game was really good at locking people down. And there you can see that buffed up pain battery damage just nukes people, hits like a truck. Might be honestly a little too strong in my opinion. But I mean, hey, I'll take it. Probably just means my character is gonna get banned more, but what can you do? So at this point, I'm almost to my Nexus 0.4k, so I'm like, okay guys, let's pull back a little bit. Let me get a few more souls if we can. There's still really nothing to fight over, so there's no point in dying. And then I realized that I have to sell something anyway, so I had the souls, but now I have Witchmail, which makes me very strong.
Boss has arrived.
I think I explained it a little bit in the last video, but Witchmail on Victor is very good because as long as your ult is off of cooldown, it only applies to his jump start, which gives him like unlimited jump starts. And when your ult is on cooldown, it makes your ult come back much faster. And now here you can see just like the crazy amount of damage that this Yamato was doing this game. I just like die instantly. I'm like, holy moly. Like I have 3 spirit resist items that give me, I think like 80% spirit resist combined. And she was still able to nuke me like that, with the help of her team, of course. But I was just like, holy moly. So at this point in the game, I'm like, okay, my resistances are struggling against their burst, so I might need to go into something like Ethereal Shift at some point. I briefly considered Spellbreaker, but I already have so much. Yeah, there I just kind of I don't really know what I was doing there. Yeah, I considered Spellbreaker a little bit, but I already have so much, like I already have like 80% Spirit Resist, so that whatever it is, 75% off of one ability every 10 seconds didn't really seem like a huge deal for me. I don't usually buy Spellbreaker with this build. So yeah, I think they get mid off of that, and that is definitely partially my fault for dying like that. I think at this point they were just doing so much damage that I was like really unaccustomed to taking that much damage in a team fight, considering how many tank items I buy. And I just died a lot faster than I thought I would. But another thing that their team has is really good, just like playmaking potential with each other, and they were really good at setting each other up and really like throwing all of their abilities at once on somebody, like the Paradox, especially the Lash with the Slam and the Lash ult, the Bebop with the Hook and the Knockup, the Ivy with the Stone Form, and then the Kudzu Root. And I mean, Yamato doesn't really have too much CC, but she can attach to you and then run you down and chase you for the kill. So they have a pretty strong team fighting comp.
Pain will be shared.
So they have 3 rejuves right now, and they grab the urn. It's not really something that we want to fight. So I'm just kind of taking the farm on our side so that they can't grab it from us. But you can see that the scores are pretty much tied right now. And after they get this urn, they're going to be in the lead, I'm pretty sure.
You have a good eye.
They delivered the urn.
Yep, so now they're in the lead, but not significantly, so I think they do have a little bit of a stronger team fighting comp than us. So ideally we want to get a pick with Mo and Trill before we engage with them. Then Mo gets hooked, so I jump in to try and save him. I think this is another probably mistake that our team makes. It's just not really a team fight that we were very coordinated on. I see Mo's chasing this person, so I run in after him to try and chase her down. Then Lash ults the rest of our team, Mo backs up. And we kind of just start dying one by one. This was kind of my fault. But so at this point, I'm trying to just lure them into a room with me, because this is where Victor is the strongest. Because less people can shoot him, and he can hit them all with his aura. And in a situation like this, like, yeah, I just like instantly die because they have so many things to lock me down. In a situation like that is an example where building into Infuser and Greater Expansion and Ethereal Shift would be better than what I built. But at the same time, like, yes, that will make you invulnerable for 10 seconds or whatever. But after that 10 seconds, you're still probably gonna die. Like, at this point in the game, you're not gonna win a 1v6 that easily. Now, important thing to note here before this next team fight, if you'll look at the soul count for each player, I am currently tied for the poorest person in the game. So yeah, just keep that in mind. But right now I'm kind of calming. Okay, guys, let's try not to die, pretty much. And when we all come up, let's just fight in the pit, and I think we'll be able to pull them away from it. Unfortunately, our Drifter goes in, our Haze goes in, and they all try solo ulting their entire team and just die. Not too sure why, but you know, you can't play perfect all the time. But they do manage to bait out a couple big ultimates, 7 ult, Lash ult, Bebop ult, which allows me to come in and do this. And you'll see I I'm literally dropped to 1 HP here while my ult I still had 1 second left before it procs. I was like, literally we were 1 HP away from losing this game, which is just like the craziest shit to me. But this is where Victor shines, is just especially with the build that I build, and this is really just highlights it. Living in the pit, you know. You don't have to rely on infuser cooldown or any cooldown for that matter. I do think after this fight I do buy Ethereal Shift, just because they have so much stuff that like can just like burst me down if I don't have it. But yeah, that was kind of that's what you play Victor for right there. And you can see in that one fight I went up 10k souls. I don't know if you caught that minion wave, but it was pretty massive. I think there were probably like 10 heal minions in the one wave, and when I killed it, I think my healing went up from whatever it was to like 500 health a second for those couple seconds that I was getting those.
Mid-boss has arrived.
So yeah, at this point, we're feeling pretty good. Mid-boss comes up, but we're not really ahead of them yet. They're still actually ahead of us, and they still have a better teamfight comp than us. So we're not going to try and force that unless we can get a pick with someone like Mo or Doorman. Or even Wraith, now that her ult can just like throw people, which is kind of crazy.
Pull back. Headed to Greenwich.
So at this point, we're not really like committing to a fight. We're kind of just poking at them, they're poking at us. And I'm not really trying to like hypermax my farm anymore. Now I'm kind of just hovering my team, making sure that I'm where I need to be when the team fight actually happens. I see that I have enough to buy my next purchase, which is Boundless Spirit. Just increases everything that Victor excels at, just makes it better.
Headed to green.
So that's why I buy that. And then I just kind of go back to hovering my team, making sure that I'm in a good spot, because we don't necessarily know where the enemy is right now. So I just kind of want to be by a zipline or a vent or something so I can rotate fast if a team fight does start somewhere that I'm not. If you look at my team, we have a squishy Haze, a squishy Wraith, a squishy Drifter, a squishy Doorman. Really just me and Mo are our only tanky characters. So if I'm not in the team fight, we just auto lose. So that's kind of why I'm not even like trying to hit boxes, not trying to get minion waves. I'm just sticking around, making sure that when we enter the team fight, it's in the most optimal conditions for us.
Pull back.
Because don't forget, they dropped our patron, which will come into play in a minute. You'll see. But since they already dropped our patron, if we lose like 1 or 2 people, especially if we lose me, or if I'm not there and they kill the rest of my team, we just auto lose. So that's why we're trying to play pretty safe. So here we don't see Yamato's team around her, and we have 3 people here, so we're like, okay, maybe we can get a pick fast, but then 7 rotates. Her whole team rotates, which is good on their part that they were like hovering her and able to do that. So we kind of just back off for a second because they popped a bunch of ults, Mo goes in and manages to lock one down, which was huge. And then we're able to come in and clean up the kills a little bit here. And then we hear the Baron go off, and I'm like, is that one of us doing that? Like, who's doing the Baron? And we're like, no, it's not us. So we go down and we see Ivy just running circles around the Baron trying to solo it, which was not a good play on her part. She should have been up top helping her team. Like, even if she somehow did manage to solo it and get all 3 rejuves before we reacted, like, that wouldn't help her with her whole entire team dead. And then from then on, we kind of just snowball. But if you look at the mini-map right now, you can see that all of their minions are pushing into our base, and Lash realizes this, and he's like, oh shit, I can go end the game right now. And look at the health on the Archmother right now.
That sucks every time.
And I think as we were finishing the Baron, we realized it, so Hayes and Doorman ran back as fast as they could. And luckily they changed it so that the patron is invulnerable to damage when you have 2 people in the pit. Otherwise we would have lost right there. This Lash tried his best, he was just a couple seconds too late. like literally this game could have ended for us multiple times by just like 1 HP or like 10 seconds, which is why this game was just like so crazy to me. Definitely lots of mistakes made on both sides, but it was a fun game nonetheless.
I threw in a pack of staples on the house.
So my last item, I decided to go for Juggernaut. Probably could have chosen a better item here because they didn't really have a lot of gun damage. I think their Paradox had gun damage, and maybe their 7 too, but it wasn't really needed. But at this point, it was like, I'm feeling pretty strong. I might as well have a little bit. Like, Juggernaut's always a good item, regardless, for at least one person to have. And here I just get, like, deleted. I tried popping Ethereal Shift before I died, and then it somehow popped after I died instead, which was unfortunate. But that's kind of what I mean by their team cop, just like being able to lock you down for like 5 seconds in a row and just burst you down. And now you can just hear the Witchmail proccing, and you can see how fast my ult comes back up. You can see it's already gone down, like, it's almost back up already after I just used it.
They only have one shrine left.
Good job.
And now we're back in the other pit. But Victor doesn't really care what pit he's in as long as he's in a pit. And he's a happy guy. So now my team's like, oh, I don't know if we can finish. And I'm like, guys, we can finish. I'm really strong. Like, let's just stay. I already have my ult back up. They still have 3 people dead. Like, we can do this pretty easily, I think. And yeah, that's about the end for them. The power of mathematically correct victory. You let the game go on for 50 minutes, and Victor's gonna be a happy guy.
That was fun. Good game.
So yeah, guys, I think that is gonna do it for this video. I'll show the scores here and the the stats for healing and damage and stuff if you want to pause the video on that. But yeah, other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you like this style of video. I might make more in the future, or I might make some live commentary, although my brain is pretty bad at focusing on the game and trying to talk at the same time, so no promises there. But yeah, thanks for watching. Come check me out on Twitch. I might be live, I might not, you never know. But yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Peace.